What's up, everybody?
Wait, I'm not ready.
I'm ready.
Welcome to the Tug of More.
We're so glad that you're here. There's a conversation.
That's right.
Between two friends about where we are today, but more importantly, where we want to be.
That's right.
Because sometimes where we are just feels meh.
Meh.
What is the emoji? This one? Is that the meh emoji?
That's what you think of?
I don't know.
I think of like.
That's the one I'm trying to do.
Oh. Yeah.
That isn't
that's not meh.
Oh, that's what is meh?
To me, the meh is the one that's like. It's
okay.
like the
meh. Oh, well, I've
like
learned.
the half smile smirk.
All right, so we're talking about how to be better.
That's true.
But I've learned that I use emojis wrong. I send the okay or the thumbs up emoji.
I dropped my phone.
I send up thumbs up emoji all the time.
And that is so rude.
But it's not rude to me.
You know
it just
what it means?
No, to me it means like, yeah, I agree. Cool, I'm down.
You'll send him like a really long, like heartfelt text thing that I spent time working on, and then he'll write back. And that literally just means, cool, you're an idiot.
Then what do I say? Or do I have to say more than emoji?
This is what we've talked about. You have to reply more than just,
come on.
You're the king of only replying. This one's the one you do the most, which is, means F you. That's what it means.
Wow.
That's what it means.
Julia agrees?
Yeah, that's what it means. It's like, okay, whatever, you're an idiot.
I apologize to anyone that I've sent a thumbs up. Me and Kyle text every morning. You can get your phone here. Just put the camera on me, or Whitney's going to show everybody your butt.
Oh, wait, did you do it? Or do you have to cut it out? Okay, good.
Yeah. So Kyle texts me every morning, and he asks me, and I just send him thumbs up. I don't respond at all. So maybe
the fact
Kyle,
that he keeps showing up for the gym for you is pretty good, because you're basically
here's my thought
cursing
process,
at him every day.
What's the saying that a picture's worth 1,000 words? I think that emoji's worth at least 100. An emoji's worth at least 25 words.
No.
So
an emoji is like -5.
What?
An emoji is like.
How about a GIF?
Yeah, a GIF is good. You are a good GIF. You are a good GIF giver.
Oh, dude,
I will put some GIFs.
GIFs.
Yeah, that is funny, but it has to. Yeah, the emoji just kind of feels like I don't really know what to say, so here it is.
Okay.
But if you can add an emoji to your words, even if you just say, that's amazing, and then add an emoji, I love that.
I'm going to have to stop doing the thumbs up, because I use it. You know where else I use it? Social media.
Like,
if I'm commenting or somebody comments and like this, like I'll make a post and someone will write, Pastor Truston, I love this so much, so thank you for your ministry. I then respond, thumbs up. That means they're thinking that
those people are like, well, I'll never comment on his stuff again.
Okay, guys, public apology. Hey, we're going to cut this. Julie, we got to cut this into a clip.
Oh, a clip. Look.
I want to publicly apologize for sending up thumbs up emojis.
Hey,
I did not know the meaning. I'm sorry.
It's real.
I thought it meant I agree and affirm and I love you. And this is a fun way to say we're in agreement. But apparently it equals the same as another finger.
Correct.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you shouldn't do it, but that's okay. Hopefully people forgive you.
Whitney's got her eyelashes.
I was wondering if you're going to ask me about it. I'm going to a wedding later tonight.
I believe I can fly.
They're a little dramatic. I didn't just wear them for the podcast, but I'm going to a wedding, and like, you don't understand how it is to be a girl.
No, I do. I'm married to one, and I've got a sister over here that's one.
If I would have put my regular makeup on, and then I wanted to wear these eyelashes to the wedding, I would have then had to remove the makeup that I put on to then put on the eyelashes. So now I just have them on, and then I get to add more makeup later instead. It's hard.
I used to watch this TV show called 24.
Yeah.
You didn't watch it because you were too busy having babies.
Yeah.
And there's this scene where the president's wife, she's like real dramatic, and the makeup person gets like her makeup perfect and her hair perfect. She's wearing a little dress to go out and make a speech or something. And she says to the makeup person, she says, I look like a wedding cake. And then she dips her head in the sink full of water and like washes all the makeup off.
Oh, she didn't like it.
Yeah. And so anytime y'all talk about put on makeup, I get in my head that it's just decorations like on a cake.
For a wedding cake.
It's just like
there you go. He basically,
frosting. Y'all just putting frosting on your face.
He's basically saying, F you. And,
no, I'm not.
And you look like a wedding cake.
Listen, I think y'all look great without makeup. Yeah. I don't think you need it.
Like that day a few weeks ago when we did the pie contest. Or not the pie contest, but the raising money and pies in the face.
Yeah.
Everyone's paying like $2 for pies in the face. Somehow I'm the only female pastor that agreed to it.
No, I called out Brady though and said,
you got Brady
get your butt
and you
over
made
here.
her do it. But at first somehow I'm like,
Did you see where Rachel was standing?
yeah, far away.
Not even in the lobby.
Not even. I'm like,
Rachel's
where?
always in the mix. Not on
this
Pie in
time.
the Face
Not
Day.
this time. And so I'm like, y'all got no hair to wash.
Nothing.
No makeup to do. I'm just looking like a scrub.
Julie's eating an Uncrustable right now.
Hey, we work people like slaves. They have to have time to eat, right?
Dude, I'll eat an Uncrustable.
No, it's good.
All right,
It
sorry.
takes me more effort to get ready. That's all it is.
But I've got the equivalent. My beard is getting long. And so twice a week I have to, and so that's a hassle.
Twice a week.
Yeah, twice a week it takes me about 3 minutes.
Yeah. Do you know how many times a week I have to fix my hair and how many times a week I have to put makeup on?
You shave your head. Aaron would love it.
Oh yeah, that would be great. I'd be like that girl on Friends, the Friends episode.
Nope.
Yeah, they convince her to shave her head and she comes out all head shaved. It's ridiculous.
I saw a picture of myself from like 10 years ago of me and Rachel, and I had no gray in my beard, and like these parts were down here,
Well, you can
and like
shave
this
it,
part was a lot fuller.
or you can bleach it, or what is it? Dye it.
No,
What's the word?
But my beard's so short that if I dyed it, I'd have
You
to
would
dye
have to
it
dye
every
it
3
twice
days.
a week. Yeah. Also.
Isn't that a big? That's a big hassle?
Yeah,
Right?
they have that like just for men stuff that you can do. I don't know. I've never used it because I'm not a man.
I wonder how
But
long it takes.
I wonder. I had this friend whose dad was the weatherman in our area.
Okay,
And-
handsome.
Yeah, handsome.
Square jaw?
Yeah.
Yep.
And he would
It's
every
what you
time.
gotta have to be a weatherman.
And he
Blue suit. Yep,
yeah,
weatherman.
100%. And he would dye his beard, and he would use that just for men. But what's funny is every now and then, it would get like green looking. Like if you saw him in real life, you'd be like, and it was like I don't know.
So
what
it was like real gray.
I guess
It must have been like
I
a lot of
guess.
gray.
Yeah.
But that's
So-
happening. What do I do as I get older? I shaved my beard once recently. Should I put a picture? Wow, psh. Here's a picture. I did it last summer. Remember I shaved it? You know why? I did it when I was on sabbatical.
I was like, I don't even think I saw you.
I'd sent a picture to the staff.
Oh, okay. Oh,
And-
that's right. I remember now.
And I was going to Colorado for a week, so I wasn't going to
So
see
you
anybody.
shaved it, yeah.
Shaved it, came out. Rachel looked at me and she goes, yeah, start growing it back. I was like, and
Nice,
I died.
Nice. Yeah. No, it's funny. It's funny once you have facial hair as a man, then when you don't any longer, it's kind of like, whoa.
Yeah, weird.
Walter, you know,
who's this
Walter,
baby?
he like had big beard and he like just trimmed it up. He said because he's been losing weight, you know, because treat yourself.
Yeah.
And he said he realized that he's not getting credit for how good his face looks because his beard was covering it up.
Oh, he had been hiding it.
And so then he realized when he shaved his beard, you could see that he'd been losing weight. And so
Yeah.
he just did it like yours. Now it's like
Yeah.
yours, whereas before it was,
I have a dimple in my chin.
yeah, that's cool. I always wanted one.
Oh, really? No, I don't like it. So then
Why?
the beard helps just
When I was
make
a
that
kid, I
disappear.
used to do like this.
No, not
Because
in
I
my
thought it would
cheeks, in
give me
my
dimples.
chin.
I know, but any dimple is a good dimple, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, so eyelashes, pies in the face,
What if I
emojis.
What if I get my hair tattooed in? That's a thing guys do. They get their hair tattooed, their hairline.
You can do that.
Rachel got her eyebrows.
Yeah, I
you
did.
too got
Yeah.
your eyebrows tattooed.
You can do that.
How vain is that? Is that vain?
I don't know. I did it, so you're so vain. I don't know. Is it vain or
I
is
don't know.
it
How
just
much does that cost? What's it cost for a man to get his head tattooed?
probably $400? I don't know. That
Yeah?
would be my guess.
My bald spot.
Just
is
in the back, you want to do it?
It's getting more aggressive.
I
When
think
was
if
a
you
kid,
did this part, it would look weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that what you're asking? You want to do this part?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because there's no actual hair growing.
Three I don't know. All at the same time.
Do whatever you want.
When I was a kid, if I'd go somewhere I couldn't find my dad, I would just look and I'd find the bald spot. It was like the bat signal. It's like, there's my dad.
You can identify it.
I was like, I don't
Sorry,
wanna
Jonathan.
I don't want to, what do I do here?
I don't know.
So I'm a man. They need makeup for men's heads.
Makeup? Oh, you could
Yeah, y'all
powder.
put makeup on your face.
Yeah, that's not really the same.
Y'all got
but
all kind of
they have
scrunch
man
it here
makeup
and stretch
for your
it there.
face.
No.
But no, for your hair. I
Rachel
don't
went
know.
and started getting a facial.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They sandpaper your face down and then they put lotion on it and it makes it look young again.
That is a good man description of what a facial
They
is.
get some form of aggregate and rub it on your face and it makes it then young.
Yeah.
Yes?
Sure.
I know it's not sandpaper, but it's a rough aggregate.
Exfoliation.
Exfoliation. I couldn't pull the
They
word.
do extractions. Like if you have like any like blemishes, they do. Yeah, it's actually.
I have a scar. Where's the scar? On one of these sides. This.
The line scar? Yeah, right there.
I was taking a nap on the couch, and Lillian, when she was like 3, she had this hard plastic blue fish, and threw it at me. I'm asleep, and it hit me on my face, and I started bleeding. And so now I have this scar. And Rachel's like, yeah, you just need to go get that exfoliated. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got to deal with baldness first. You can start taking drugs and get shots in your head, but I don't want to do that.
You could go get other hair on your body transplanted into your head. You could do that.
Dude, if I could do that, thing. I'd be looking like Fabio.
Yeah, somebody told me about that this week. I don't remember.
But it's just like from your neck down here.
From down there.
It's not like they take it from your leg.
Well, your neck and back, like that, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, you could do that. That's a thing.
Okay.
Show back up. Go on a sabbatical. Shave your beard.
Come back looking like a straight afro.
Hey, do it.
That'd be weird.
That's exciting.
But don't you think me with a full head of hair would look weird? Julie, can you edit a picture of me and put hair on me?
Oh my gosh.
Is that hard to do?
Julie's like, can it be done? Okay. Yes. Should it be done?
Here's me with a normal head of hair.
Okay.
Here's me with an afro.
Julia's like, thanks. All the things that you know are making me edit. Awesome.
If they don't show up, it's because after the podcast, I apologized to Julie and said, you have too many things to do. There's much more important content to be created. All right. What are we talking about?
Okay. What are we talking about today? Oh.
Well, we're in a fast that we've called our staff and kind of key leaders, elders, directors to. And so when you're on a fast, you're saying no to some things to say yes to hearing from the Lord.
That's true.
And so as I've been praying a bunch over the last month, God just starts dropping new stuff in me. And so something that I've started wrestling with is us potentially adding a new value.
Yeah.
A value to the church. So churches always have mission statements.
Right.
Purpose statements.
They're all basically the same.
They're all basically the same. Love God, love people, reach the lost, disciple the world.
People.
Right. Okay.
Help them know Jesus.
Yeah. And so mission statement, purpose statement is a whole other conversation. But values are how you do what you do.
Right. The way it's done.
The way it's accomplished.
Yeah.
And so I've been chewing on, man, maybe it's time for us to add a new value. So we can talk about the new value.
Yeah.
Or I think that we should talk about like how to create a value for how you do what you do. Now, before you click away, because I know that some of our people on the Tug team are other pastors, and they would love to hear about how you create a value. But maybe you're not a pastor in another church, but you're a business leader. In your business, you should have values, how you do what you
100%.
do. But guess where else?
In your home.
In your family.
Absolutely.
How do we argue in our family?
Right.
How do we make decisions in our family?
Yep.
There's some values.
Who are we as people? You know, for our kids, I think it's such a big deal to have values that you help them understand who they are, because the world is going to tell them who they are really quick. Mm-hmm. But if they grow up in a home knowing who they are before they go off to school, before they encounter mean girls in middle school, before other people in the world try to tell them who they are, then I feel like it's already established in them. Like for us, when our kids, when they would go to bed at night, every night we would tell them, don't forget you're a leader and you're the light. Yeah. Every night. Because it was just such an important thing that like, you're going to lead, not follow. You're not following your friends. Mm-hmm. You're not going to jump off the bridge just because they do or whatever. But also you're a light. You're not supposed to be negative. You're not supposed to be a punk. You're supposed to point people to Jesus. Be the light. Show them who he is through you. And so like, what's cool about my kids, I believe, is that they've always been leaders and the light, because since they were little, that's what we've always instilled in them. And so I'm a big proponent of all places of your life. You have to, even personal. I have personal values about how I do what I do and who I am as a person. And I think it's a big deal. So I think talking about how to create one is a good idea, because we did that a long time ago for the church.
Yeah. So we have created church values, staff values, and then executive values. And so executive is how me and Rachel and Aaron Whitney operate together in our friendship, that there are some values there. And the church and then staff. Yeah.
And so I think
let's talk about what we see. Okay, so no matter who you are, leader level, family, I think you establishing some values is really important. Oh, and it's a job. Like it takes time.
It's work, yeah.
So when we first decided that we were going to do values, me and Whitney went to, let's see, I know she remembers, Panera Bread. Am I wrong?
Yes.
Crap. Where did we go?
Twisted Root in Arlington.
That's where our first value meeting was? What was Panera Bread?
We did it because it takes time.
Oh, I remember Panera Bread as the like.
I remember Twisted Root because
we
what
had the
happened was you
times.
went to another church in Florida.
Yes, I went to a conference.
And they had a bunch of values and you were like, this is really inspirational.
Yeah.
We had also gone to a local church that we were kind of being mentored by at the time. And they had a couple of like, they didn't call them values, but they had a couple of like statements that they used. And so we had already kind of heard it. Then you go there and they had like, remember, they had like emojis. What are they called? Like
logos,
pictures, logos
brands.
for each one. They had like scriptures, I think, for each one. And then they had a value. And you were like, this is brilliant. We need to do this, especially because when we were first starting, we were cleaning up messy culture. We were cleaning up dirty, messy, negative, manipulative culture. And we were trying to figure out how to say that, establish who we were going to be as people without just having to go, let me remind you, we didn't want to point to the negative. We wanted to point to the positive of who we would be.
Values are anchors of who you are.
Yeah.
The anchor is set and doesn't move.
Yeah.
And if you start to drift away from that centralized point, you no longer have to be the bad guy. The anchor is the thing that you point to.
100%.
And so I realized we have all these problems. We have problems all over the place. And I'm running around trying to stomp out fires.
Looking like the bad guy.
Looking like the bad guy because I just don't have centralized anchor point that defines who we are and how we do what we do. Okay, so we went to, so
a couple of meetings, but
creating values, it takes a bunch of work.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're just going to get off this and have a 10-minute think tank and be like, bang, 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 and there's all my values. There's a constant ebb and flow in the organization and the family of things that need to be reallocated. And it's not that you throw old ones away. It's just that it becomes such a cultural point that they don't need to be talked about as much.
Right. And I think, one of the key things we talked about when we were first establishing them is there needs to be more than a couple, but there has to be fewer than like 10 or less because they have to be rememberable.
Yes.
If you don't...
You can't make 30 values.
If you have 30 values, no one's going to remember them.
Yeah.
And like even what we have 9 staff ones and 10 church ones. Like that's still a lot.
Yeah.
And maybe not everyone's going to memorize them, but you're going to at least keep them pretty close to you, and eventually they're going to be a part of who you are. And another thing is, don't spend so long. It's going to take a long time, but don't spend so long that you don't allow yourself to know that, hey, it might change as you go. So like
they shift, they mature. Values should mature.
So your statement may be one thing for a year, but you may realize actually we're saying it like this or that or whatever, and you can shift it and change it. And it's not like it has to be set in stone forever. Yeah. I think that's important. Okay, go. What?
No, I don't know. So what would you say people do wrong at value creation?
Steal other people's that aren't really their actual value. It's the number one thing I see wrong.
Okay.
So like
they just hear something fuzzy or fancy and then they're like, ooh, I like that one.
So I'm going to say that. But it's not really who they are. And so like even in our family, if I would have said like, we are meek and blah, 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 just because I thought it sounded cool. We are not meek people by nature.
Hold on. Let's change the word meek.
Okay, I shouldn't have said it.
Because the meek shall inherit the earth.
Timid.
Meekness isn't weakness. It's just strength with a little bit of sweetness.
Okay, I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, maybe timid.
We are soft, gentle.
We are soft, gentle, and kind.
Timid.
Yeah, okay. A value for our home. We are soft, gentle, and kind. That would not have been one that was real. It sounds good.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say about meek. Like,
I got you.
Meek is good. I want to be meek, but it's not really who we are. Regularly, we are meek. Okay, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So soft, gentle, kind. That would not have been a good value. It sounds good. I want my kids to be kind. I want them to be gentle, but it would have just been me stealing it from that family because it sounded cool.
Correct.
And so I think I see people, one of our values people steal all the time.
Okay.
That's not really who they are.
Okay.
You know which one it is?
We're party starters.
That's right.
We say, one of our values is that we say we're party starters here and in heaven.
Right.
Now, we need to say this. I think that we're going to do a series here in the Tug of More.
We are.
Talking about each value.
Yes.
So we're going to be careful in this episode to not dive
too deep about what they
to
mean.
explain the value Yeah, we're talking about value creation.
Right.
This is kind of
so
the
this
intro.
is just like 30,000 foot view of the value.
Party starters here and in heaven. But there are some churches that have taken that value and they claim to be party starters, but like they're not.
You have to ask
they're
yourself,
still like very old school vibe, pastors suit and tie.
are you going to walk in a room and start a party when you walk in the room, or are you just walking in the room and checking out the vibe of the room before you even engage? No, we are legitimately, we said it last
Since
podcast.
childhood.
Obnoxious? Didn't we say it last podcast?
We're
obnoxious people. And so are we...
That's the negative.
No,
but
right.
the positive is
that
party
we're
starters.
And so... we're going to have fun and we're going to be fun. We're going to be exciting. That is just part of who we are. And so it was such an easy one. In fact, we heard the word party starter from somebody else on our team said it. And then it was like, yoink, that is one of our values. 100%. That is who we are. Because it puts words, a value puts words to who you are trying and wanting to be. And so it was like, if you want to be on our team, you got to know, we're going to dance like nobody's watching. We're going to have fun. We're going to be exciting, and we're going to make Jesus fun. And if you don't like that, then you don't fit in our culture. And that's not because you suck, and it's not because we suck. It's just because that's the value that we have.
The values help define, right, we said at the beginning, who you are and how you do what you do. And the values are kind of your recipe of creation.
Yes.
So what Whitney said, it's not that you're bad or we're bad. It's just that the recipe isn't your preference.
Yeah.
So if you go to a certain Mexican restaurant and you don't like their salsa, but the place is packed and has a line around the block, it's not that their salsa's bad.
Right.
It's that you don't like that recipe.
Yeah.
And so we've just learned this is our recipe.
Right.
This is how we cook our chicken.
Yeah.
This is our flavoring of what we do, and it helps us make that anchor point. And if people don't like it, like we had a service, and we do this every single year on Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, Team Sunday?
We have Team Sunday. And dude, we go nuts. We're playing games and wearing jerseys and throwing stuff at people. And so 2 years ago, we had a Sunday where we broke everybody into groups and gave them a bracelet and made teams, and they had a conversation. There was no sermon, but it was one of the greatest days ever. You know what we did? We had people leave the church, email me. We're leaving the church. We're not coming back. We feel like that was not spiritual. There was no sermon. And I felt uncomfortable in my group.
I was saying most of the people were throwing a fit because they felt uncomfortable and had to be pushed out of their comfort zone, and they didn't like it.
But that's a perfect Sunday for me. That's like, cool. We're just
not the church for you.
We're not the place for you, and I'm not gonna throw away my value to appease you.
That's why they're so important. It's so good.
Because if I appease everybody, then there's nobody that I'm really connecting with. And so once I identify, okay, I've been too loud my whole life.
Right.
I've gotten a little bit of trouble for making jokes and pranks and having fun my whole life.
Right.
Like everything about me has been a little bit exaggerated my whole life.
Yeah.
So we're going to name the church more and we're going to have fun.
That's right.
Because if I tried to do suit and tie.
Yeah, you did. That didn't work.
And cowboy boots. I did cowboy boots
That's funny.
and suit and tie for a bunch of years. And you know what? It was not me.
No, you weren't comfortable in your own skin. What you said is such a good sentence, though. The reason why creating values for you, for people, is so important is you said, now I lost it. You said
appease.
The value gives you a thing that then you don't have to appease people. You don't have to like change yourself. You hold the value. That's more important than the people, because everywhere in our life, everywhere in business, everywhere in your home, somebody's going to try to buck the system. Right. Somebody's going to try to come in and say, hey, I don't like it this way. I don't want to do it. But the value, not only it can be the bad guy, but it holds the line. Yeah. It holds the like, I'm not appeasing. We're not changing. We're not shifting. And like, I think when you said that, I was like, oh, it's so good, because it also identifies who you are and how you do what you do, so that when other people try to speak against it or whatever, you can be like, nope, this is who we are. And we've chosen to be that way. And actually, I don't apologize for it, because we actually chose it a long time ago.
Dude,
and
so good. For
your family, for your kids, like for your home, for your business, for whatever. If you hold that value, it holds the line. I love that. It was a good sentence. Yes.
So you've got to know your values so you can hold them. Okay, so things that people can do kind of wrong is they don't take it seriously. They don't even have values. They don't take long enough. They just steal them. I think another thing that people can do wrong when they're creating their values is they're not honest about what they need to fix. Like, They're not
It's really good.
really peering into the gaps. Something that Whitney and I love to do is to help other ministries.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we had a church hire us to come in and lead their staff retreat, staff advance.
Yeah.
And one of the things they want us to help do was to help them write their church values.
Yeah.
And so we spent, 10 hours with the staff helping them over 2 days or 3 days?
2 or 3 days, I can't remember.
Write their staff values. And so we started by interviewing their staff.
Yeah.
What's going on? What's your personality? What are some of the troubles that you have?
Yeah.
And do you remember what all the staff said? The pastor didn't say it, but what all the staff said?
Is that he jumps around from thing to thing to thing. Pastor gets excited about something for like 5 minutes and then jumps on a different monkey. It was something about monkey, remember?
No, squirrels.
Squirrels.
Yeah.
That's what it was. He sees a squirrel and he jumps to the next thing.
Yeah.
And so, what was it? Where they were going to catch the squirrels? I can't remember what we called it.
So as they're telling us this, that he, at Thanksgiving, he gets excited about giving out turkeys. And then at Christmas, he gets excited about Christmas caroling.
Right.
And then he, for a month, is like, we're only going to preach Bible verse by verse. And now we're all going to read this book. And like he was sporadic. And so there was no kind of consistency of culture.
Cohesiveness, yeah.
Because, they said every time he goes to a conference.
Oh, that's right.
Every time he goes to a conference, he comes back with a whole new way to do things.
Yes.
And so the church could never gain traction in who they were.
Because they were just changing all the time. That's right.
And so we had to talk with the pastor about it personally, I think with him and his wife.
Yeah.
About this idea. And so one of the values we made for them was at blah, blah, blah church, we shoot the squirrels of distraction.
That's what it was. It's like we catch them, we shoot them. Yeah, we shoot them.
We shoot the squirrel.
Yeah.
And so that had become a value. And here's what it did. It allowed the pastor to receive critique without offense.
Yes.
Because he already admitted, okay, I'm a squirrel chaser. Squirrel! And he runs in that direction. Now the staff can say, hey, pastor, we're committed to shooting squirrels around here. And we're not going to just start a
homeless ministry
class on exegesis for the next 24
Whatever
months.
It is, yeah.
And so that was really good.
No,
but you've got to be honest about your struggles.
I think that, so like one of ours that we had for our staff team was, don't just see problems, solve problems.
Yeah.
Because in that season we had a culture of
complainers.
Oh, well, the problem is, and it was always all the problems without any solutions.
Yeah.
And so we realized we have this issue. And so it's so good to say, you have to speak to the negative to then create the positive of the value. And so we had to say, okay, what's the issue here? The issue is everybody's complaining. Everybody's saying all of what's not going good, what's not right. Cool. But as a staff team, if I'm going to be on the team, I'm allowed to see problems, but I can't just see the problem. I have to also see a solution.
Yeah.
And that set a precedent for us that was so helpful that now, if you're coming to us in a meeting, if you're coming to us with an issue, with a relational issue, with anything, you're not just seeing a problem, you're also coming with a solution. It might not be the right solution.
Yeah.
We might tell you, actually, don't do it like that, let's do it like this.
Yeah.
But at least you're trying to proactively solve it. And it just shifts the culture of negativity to something more positive.
And we, I don't want to tell the story because we got to save it when we do the episode.
Yeah.
But when we launched that value, we had Aaron, your husband, come in and teach our team that.
That's right.
He taught it. He gave an illustration, which we'll do when we teach it. And it was so revolutionary for our team to understand, I'm bringing my pastor stress.
Right.
Because I'm only bringing them problems, not solutions. I would rather you come to me with a problem and have 3 potential solutions. We might not use any of them.
Right.
But at least I know that you've thought about the problem enough to try to fix it.
Well,
and now you're bringing it to me. And it's worth being brought to me.
Correct. And once you come up with solutions, then you're also taking ownership of the problem. It's not just your problem. Now it's our problem to solve together. Super good. I think another thing you said is you have to wrestle it and take time with it and not just okay, here it is. Let's think about it. So right now you've got one that you're like, even right now going, okay, God spoke this to me. But even the reason why we didn't say it out loud yet is because we're going to spend a minute going, okay, how do we do it? What is that right? What is the right? Here's the idea behind it. How does it be easily spoken?
How's it held on to well?
Yeah.
Like the idea is that God's been challenging me a lot to be a better listener to him.
Yeah.
That I'm really good at thinking and I'm really good at acting.
Right.
I'm good at thinking and processing, and we're conversating and we're beating it up, and I'm logically dissecting the thing.
Right.
And I'm also pretty ballsy, and so I'm good at acting. I'm good at not just sitting on my hands and waiting for everything to be perfect. But taking some time to just listen to God.
Yeah.
And being like, okay, God, I've thought about it, and I'm willing to act on it.
Yeah.
But is it the time now? Should I do this today, or is this tomorrow? You know what got me thinking about it? Well, and then something I'm not good at is after I make a decision, believing that it was the right one.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Anybody else? You second guess yesterday.
Right.
But if I would do a better job, she's gonna get mad at me because she knows this is one of my struggles. But if I would do a better job at listening and having God give me a thus saith, a like spiritual internal confirmation that this is the right step, then when the moment of question comes, I wouldn't start second guessing my decision because I'd heard from God.
Yeah.
But if I'm too busy thinking and acting to listen, then I find myself questioning if I did the right thing.
But the reason why we have to beat it up is because even right now, I'm like, I have some, words I want to say about it.
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, but also a word that's missing from that is obey. It's not just acting. It's also obedience.
Yeah.
And so like you're good at thinking and acting, but you're also good at listening and obeying. And so there's a difference between like, and so that's why I'm like, we have to beat it up because
we have to beat it up.
Because
or else it comes out not genuine, not helpful.
Not helpful, not complete.
Right.
And so it's not that it has to be clever and alliteration.
No. It
can be clever and alliteration, but it's more so what can I say in a sentence that then gives the explanation of it. I don't need 3 paragraphs for the explanation.
Right, because every value is an hour of conversation.
Yeah, but instead, in one sentence, I can tell you quickly. You can understand the heart behind who we are, and what it even means. And so,
let me give an example.
Yeah, do it.
Of this. So before we sold our North Campus, the last building that we officed out of, we did midweek ministry there. Mm-hmm. There was a secondary building that we renovated.
Yep.
Remember?
Yep.
We tore the ceiling out and we did vaulted ceilings, and we added all this cool lighting.
I'm still mad about it.
Cool, like
so
nice,
awesome.
Not just like lighting, but what is all this diffused lighting?
Yeah, like a filtered.
And we put in white flooring.
It was
and
beautiful.
We did all this work.
It was a great space.
And then we literally sold the property.
Yeah.
And you know what? We could have not done anything to that whole building.
Right.
And still sold the property for the exact amount of money.
This is true.
And so it's one of those questions, like when I'm really honest and I look back, I didn't listen to God at all about that.
Right.
Like we were just in renovation mode. We knew we had to renovate the auditorium. We knew we had to renovate some like electrical and plumbing. We had to. And because we're in renovation mode, make it look better, painting the exterior, getting the CO.
Now
I didn't even stop to say, hey, God, should we renovate this portion of the building? Should we spend this money to put these lights in? And so now I second guess.
Right. The decision that you made.
Man. Yeah. Was that smart? Did I even get permission from the Lord to do that?
Yeah.
Now, if you're attending the church, don't get mad and think that we're being bad stewards. I think that if we're all honest, we've made decisions that are a knee-jerk,
or logic.
Momentum,
you just said dollars and cents, because the reason why we did it was because while these people were here, if we were going to do it, this was the most cost-effective way to do it and the time-saving way. And so and
we did it while we still thought we were going to build our next building, which would put us there another 3 years.
Correct. We had different understanding.
But I remember not really listening.
Yeah, it's good. No, it's good because even in that, what a value can do is hold you to the line. Again, it doesn't have to be so intense that then you like what you're saying in that one is like, it's not that now you have to go before the Lord to listen before you like tie your shoe. What
Correct.
shoe am I going to? But it's enough to when big and real things happen, when real cultural pieces, real decisions need to be made, you look to your value, and that can be the thing that helps you determine the right decision to make.
We need some new vacuums here at the building. I don't need to pray and ask the Lord about that.
Right.
But if we're going to do a $50,000 renovation,
correct,
it's probably worth 15 minutes of silence with the Lord to just get some clarity and some peace for him. I love what you said though, that we don't need to take the values to an extreme. Right. So like one of our values here is we say there's no such thing as just another Sunday.
Right.
And I believe it with my whole heart. That every Sunday is somebody's Sunday.
Like this coming Sunday is Memorial Day weekend.
Yes.
And it would be easy to be like, it's not going to be that big deal. A bunch of people are going to be at the lake, whatever. Yeah, let's just do a sermon you've done before. In fact, we're going to launch a brand new series.
We're launching a series that I couldn't be more excited about. It's going to be an incredible message that I think that we refer to for forever.
Yeah. And so,
So we're not phoning it in. There's no such thing as just another Sunday. But we can't let that weigh so heavy on it that it crushes us.
Right.
Because it used to crush me.
Yes.
And I used to think that this sermon has to be perfect.
I got to give it 30 hours every week.
If we don't hit the light cue on the right time, we need to have a confrontational meeting with our production team to fix.
Volunteers.
They don't care about souls.
Right.
It was too extreme.
Right.
It was too extreme.
Julia's like, thank God you shifted from that.
No, shifted a ton. But like
her face just it was so funny.
But like understanding that like there's no such thing as just another Sunday, so we're not going to sell it, just phone it in.
We're going to give it our best.
Understanding there are seasons.
Right.
And there are like stuff that we need to be aware of.
It's really good.
And so we don't need to overpressure the spiritual.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. The values are there, again, to hold the line. Not to make you feel weighted down, not to make you feel like you suck, but instead to be something to point to. And I think once you get that, then like you said the thing about it can be the bad guy. And so I think that's another good thing to like pull out a little more, because what does that really mean? And so one of those values we have is that we get to do this. Is one of the values we have. And I remember that I had this staff member.
We get to do this. This is Whitney's. This is the one that Whitney.
This is like my favorite one.
You used to say the most. We don't say it as much anymore.
No, but I've been on a journey to get it back because devil's trying to steal it from me. But a while ago, I had, you know it's true. I talked to you about it.
But we had to say it while we were at the pig.
Right.
Because it sucked so bad.
Yeah.
We get to.
But
then the devil gets sick of hearing it, so he tries to steal it from you.
So that you won't say it anymore.
So that you got to.
But I remember years ago, we had this staff member who like just, I don't know, was just going through a hard time and didn't really want to be here, but didn't really want to quit. And I didn't really want to fire them because I love them, but like, they were doing a good job, but it was like this emotional, like, what is going on? Do you want to be here? Do you not? What's happening? And I remember being in a meeting with her and I had been like, God, I just need you to intervene because I don't want to just lay the hammer. I have no reason to. I'm just going to look like a punk, but you got to help me figure this out. And in that meeting, she said no less than 7 times, I just have to do this and I have to do that and I have to do this. And I was able to say, hey, actually, you don't have to.
Right.
Here at our church, we believe that we get to. And if you don't feel like you get to anymore, if that's not how you feel anymore,
then maybe it's
a different season. Maybe it's time to go. And that transition went beautifully, smoothly, correctly, because she understood, you're right. I'm no longer fitting in the right culture.
And healthy.
And
not full of a bunch of hurt.
Right. And it was an easy conversation that was like, I love you. It's not anything about what you're doing wrong or who you are, but this is the culture we have. And if you don't feel like that anymore, then maybe that means it is time for a change. And so the values can be the bad guy, meaning they can awaken understanding to other people, but also can help you be able to communicate what you want to communicate without looking like a punk, without being a jerk. As a mom, in our home, we had values about, you know, decisions we made. We had values about like what we did on our weekends. And so for my kids, they knew they're not even going to come to me to ask to go to this party or to this thing, because that's just not who we are. That's not what we do. And so that was not that I'm a jerk. I'm sure there were plenty of times they got mad at me and thought I was a jerk, but this is just the value of our home, and we don't do those things. And so because of that, the value is the jerk, not the mom. Yep. You know, it's good.
The other important piece of having values is their bite-sized vision casting.
Absolutely.
And so you're able to new people coming in that are getting acclimated into your culture, right? They start to learn, oh, this is what it's about here. So every week pre-service, we do a rally, right? And the rally is for volunteers for first service to come and be a part. And Whitney at the rally, she says, who's serving for the first time? And people raise their hand and we clap, and we're so glad that they're there. If they're there in the first rally and they hear me or Whitney or Tim or somebody say, you know what, there's no such thing as just another Sunday.
Right.
That bite-sized vision drop helps them understand why showing up on time to serving kids is a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no such thing as just another Sunday. So they're telling me today's important.
Yeah.
Oh, me being here is important. It's a bite-sized vision.
You just got me so hard, though, of why the devil tries to steal the value from you.
Good. Preach to yourself.
Preach yourself. Because without vision, the people perish.
Mm-hmm.
And when values are just bite-sized vision, no wonder he tries to steal it, because he's trying to steal the vision of the house, trying to steal the vision for your life. He's trying to steal the vision for your family and the vision for your business. And so, so that's another piece of it. You got to guard these suckers like everything, and you got to keep saying them out loud. We used to, in staff meeting, teach on them every week.
We need to get back to it, yeah.
We should, because what happens is you start to get so comfortable with some of them. Some of these we realized even in this move from the pig to here, to this building, we realized, we need to start saying these out loud again more, because in our mind, I'm like, everybody knows them. But no, there's a whole bunch of new people that don't know them. And if I don't keep saying it, then the vision is not dripped. The vision is lost. It dies. And the people die. Dang, that was good. You just got me real hard. So now I'm going to have to say them all out loud all the time.
We got to talk about it. You got to breathe life into it. I can't just tell Rachel I love her on our wedding day.
Right.
I have to breathe life into her, into our relationship.
Yeah.
And the same thing's true in our organization and our families. We have to remind our children we are not like the world.
Yeah.
We are called and set apart.
That's right.
So I say to my kids, we're called and set apart.
Yeah.
Now, right now, called and set apart doesn't make a ton of sense to them, but when they're 17,
it sure will.
Trying to go off with some scrub friend off to the party in the field, when I say, hey, we're called and set apart, they're going to understand, set apart, sanctified.
Oh, I'm different.
Sanctified's too big for them to comprehend.
Right.
Set apart, they're starting to get it now. No, and so those values have to be.
No, it's really good. I'm like, dang, I just got super convicted, because you gotta fight for them, because if you don't, then you drift. You drift away. And I think that for us was such the intentionality of our culture in that season was it has been so off course. We are working so hard to get it back into the right way.
The drift.
We cannot let it start to drift. And so if it's going to start to drift, we have to add a value to it. Or maybe this value needs to, what's the word? Develop, change. What does it do? Matures. I don't know. Yeah. Evolve. That's the word I was trying. But I don't know it, because I believe in Christianity and creation, not evolution.
Hey, maybe evolution and creation are true.
Maybe it's possible. Whoa, don't say that yet. I'm like, whoa, don't go down.
It's possible. We evolved.
No, I'm saying don't go down that rabbit hole until we have time
Humans,
to do it.
our jaws used to be bigger because we had to eat denser food, and now our jaws are getting smaller.
Yeah.
We evolve.
Yeah. No, it's really good. That doesn't mean
that creation isn't real? All right, sorry. Keep saying what you're saying, because I was losing thought. Oh, the drift.
The drift.
Everything either drifts into comfortability or chaos.
Right.
It doesn't drift into clarity.
Right. Yeah.
Look at that, dude. I'm just hitting some alliterations. I drank a little caffeine before I came in here, and so I think it makes your brain work better.
I've only been trying to tell you that for a decade, and you've been like, I'm a Syrian. I don't need this.
Yeah, I'm a Syrian. Well, I listened to a podcast on it, and I learned that that caffeine has a half-life of 5 hours.
Yeah.
You know what half-life is? So when you put something in your body, it's 100% at the beginning, but then within 5 hours, it's 50%. And then another 5 hours, it's 50% of 50%. So that's less than even 25% of the original.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this makes sense then. I can utilize some caffeine to help me through these hours, but then it won't steal my sleep if I understand
if you do it correctly. Right. Yes.
Okay, the drift.
The drift.
Everything drifts into confusion or comfortability.
You said chaos, but also confusion. That's also good.
Chaos or comfortability. We want to be comfortable so bad. And do you know what's comfortable? Not having conflict. One of our values is we say all the words, even the last 10%. That means we're going to talk about it. If you screwed something up, you got a bad attitude, your spouse is backslidden,
right?
Your kid is cussing people out in the kids' room, and anything,
right?
We're going to talk about it. We say all the words, even the most uncomfortable parts,
right?
But you know what's comfortable? I don't want to rock the boat. Let's not cause a problem. But this value, it helps us not drift into comfortability.
It's really good. It forces you to stay. Would you say clarity? Is that the word?
To stay clear.
To stay clear about who you are, how you do what you do, and it's clear then also to the people around you, so that when I have a conflict conversation with you, you don't think I'm, oh my gosh, this is like crazy. I can't believe this happened. No, this is just the clarity.
Whoa, I'm going to the principal's office. Am I in trouble?
No, it's just very clear. This is who we are.
We say all the words, even less 10%. So this is not you're in trouble.
Right.
Because you're not in trouble. I love you. And I love you so much, I'm committed to say all the words.
Yeah.
And it feels like your department has really been having, what's going on?
Yeah.
It feels like in staff meeting, you're not paying attention at all. What's
happening?
What's going on? Right. No, this is not me killing you. This is me loving you.
Right.
Let's get to the bottom of it. We drift into comfort
or chaos.
Or we drift into chaos. Our number one value for the church and for our staff, we talk about all the time. Look, I know what it is. What's our number one value?
Above all else, you guard your heart.
We could call any of our staff members in here, any of our key leaders, and they would know that above all else, we have to guard our heart. Do you know why? Because we want to drift towards chaos. We want to drift towards
bitterness.
We want to drift towards all of that. We understand that our hearts are under attack. The Bible says that above all else, guard your heart, because everything you do flows from it. The way that we lead, the way that we preach, the way that I love my wife. Everything I do flows from my heart.
Absolutely.
So above all else, I have to guard my heart, because my heart naturally drifts the wrong direction.
It's really good. It's really good. And keeping that in check and allowing yourself to see that, if you understand that, then it forces you to really reevaluate. Are we, for you and I, like, that's one of the things in our executive retreats that we've done a lot, is like, are we now still holding the values? Is there one that needs to be adjusted? Is there one that needs to be
re-emphasized?
Is there one we need to focus more on and say every week in staff meeting? Is there one that we're allowing somebody else on the team to not be held to? Yeah. These are questions that then we have to ask ourselves, or we will start to drift and go.
No, because it's kind of another topic. But if we have somebody on the team that we allow to exist, but not to hold to that value, it then devalues everybody else. One 100%. Of our values is we're committed to be fun, have fun, and make fun. Be fun. Again, we're not going to teach it. Yeah. It's a whole other conversation. But we had somebody on our team that was not being fun, was not having fun, was not making fun.
Right.
As a matter of fact, everywhere they were,
felt
sadder.
Yeah.
So we conversation and confrontation and say all the words even last 10%, and we got to guard our heart in this conversation and all the words. But when you get to a point that the actions won't fall into alignment with the value, then either we have to decide to change the value,
right,
or change the person.
Yeah, it's really good. Another thing,
and if you can just guard your heart and be open to listening to the Holy Spirit, then we're able to change.
Absolutely.
We're able to. Everybody on our team is able to be on our team for the next 100 years.
Right.
If we can guard our heart and keep growing into all that God has.
Yeah. Are the values possible? Are they tangible things that are able to be like if the value was we only always win.
We operate in perfection.
That these are not real values that can be held to, but they
we never back off.
Right. That's absurd. I mean, sometimes they have to be things that, are actually doable. Another thing I thought of when you're talking, because you said the one about we say all the words, even last 10%. So 2 things. At the top, you said, what's the number one thing you see people do wrong? And I said, steal them from other people when it's not really you. However, you are allowed to steal them if it is you.
If it's you. Not if it wants to be and you're going to try to get better at it.
Yes. So we actually originally stole that value from somebody else.
Which one?
We say all the words, but it was different.
Yes.
Theirs was we speak the truth, even the last 10%. So that means we're going to tell each other the truth. We're always going to be honest. But then I can say, is that the last 10%? Like, do you have anything else that you haven't said? But for us, honest was just a part of the equation. Honest was not enough of the equation. So we stole that value, but then we adjusted it to fit for us because for us, we say all the words. We don't say words we don't say. Like sometimes people will be like, wow, that's a nice outfit. Mm-hmm. What they really mean is that's an ugly outfit. I don't like it. Well, we don't say words we don't say. We say all our words. If we're thinking it, we say it. If we're not thinking it, then we don't say it. Yeah. Like what?
We had to change it. Part of it is because I don't speak... look, now I can't even pull the word.
Sarcasm?
Sarcasm.
Yes.
I don't speak sarcasm. I don't understand sarcasm.
Correct.
And so it's something that rubs me so wrong that we had to say, we say all the words, even last 10%.
Yeah, because it was like, again, if you're...
Because sarcasm is just weakness.
Yeah, it's just saying like a half joke or whatever.
What did we say at that conference?
You say...
Me and Whitney were tag teaming, or was I just teaching it?
No, we were both on stage because I remember they looked like they got shot in the face.
I said something about sarcasm.
Yeah, you said that. You said it's for the weak. It's for those who are unwilling to...
Sarcasm is for people who are fearful and unwilling to speak truth.
Yeah, something like that.
And like this whole church staff came up to us.
Yeah, they looked like they got shot in the face and they started like this.
And they talk about how they joke that like we're the most sarcastic church. We would win the sarcastic award, and we're sarcastic everywhere. We're sarcastic in the sermons. We're sarcastic in our staff meeting. And they're like, we realize that's actually, we're all just a bunch of insecure men.
Right.
And so it was good. But they could have hated me, but instead they swallowed the medicine.
Yeah.
And they let it go down.
Super good.
What else?
What else?
Well, I see you looking at the list.
I know.
Are we missing an idea?
Know.
Let me see.
Here, you look at it. I can't remember. I said the piece about you're allowed to steal it. You're allowed to adjust it.
Some of these are good.
Oh, I think another one.
Yes, Pastor.
Yeah, is that like sometimes you have to create new things in like new seasons. And so like, I don't remember even what it used to be, but this house was built on sons and daughters is a big one for us.
Yeah.
That means that we believe in the next generation. It means that we pour into the next generation. It means that you might find someone leading a team that is a 65-year-old adult or a 16-year-old, depending on their level of leadership. That's how we use people. And it's built on sons and daughters of God. And so that means all the people, whether you're old or young. Anyway, we used to have some other value. I don't even remember what it was, but it was something about the next generation.
It was tied into giving. It was we give all we are and all we have.
To reach all the people?
No, well, something about...
We still have that one.
Yeah, but it was something about... money was attached to it because the other thing is when we started, we were immature. We didn't know what we were doing. We had not been pastors of the church. So we
push forward for those who are following behind.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
And so that's good. We're pushing forward. We're charged because we're charged.
Because we were charging and we were...
For those who follow behind and those following behind are younger than us.
But then
it wasn't clear.
It wasn't clear. And they're not following behind us. We're bringing them alongside us. And so like there was just so much that we realized, no.
And it was a value we had that we never said.
Correct. We didn't say it at all.
Do you know what that, sons and daughters? It's painted on our lobby wall.
Right.
Giant.
Right.
Giant.
Yeah.
We're house is built on sons and daughters with a little house logo over it.
Yeah.
because now it's so a part of who we want to be and who we believe we're not there yet. We are a house that's built on sons and daughters, but not even in the capacity.
Not even to the level that we believe that God's given us a vision to do.
Whitney and I always joke about how someday we're going to come into more churches, 80-year-old people, and nobody will know who we are, and we'll sit in the back.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for this house, not just this house,
right?
50 other churches, that are full of sons and daughters of this place,
right?
That are advancing the kingdom.
Absolutely.
Write it on the wall.
Yeah.
I remember back at our Matlock building, we had a big banner in the back because our parking lot was in the back, and we came up with this value. Aaron helped with the alliteration of it. It's your expectation affects your experience.
Yeah.
And we had a picture. We had that verbiage over a picture of a guy with his hands up worshiping. That guy was Pastor Tim, but you just see the back of his head. Because what we were trying to do was prime people to walk into service expecting something from God.
Yeah.
Because now, and it's even convicting me a little bit, that we need to fix some of this. Because now people come in, they got their cup of coffee, they're 8 minutes late, they're still talking to their friend.
Yeah.
And by the time we're in the third worship song, then they're finally positioned to receive.
Right.
But we put that banner up back then as a value to put it in their face.
Yeah.
Walk in with expectation.
Well, it's one that in this season we've realized, we put on the back burner. We weren't saying as much because
we've been just surviving.
Well, yeah, because in the setup and teardown, it was, we get to do this. And like, don't forget, we love your sons and daughters, even though they're a mile and a half away.
There's no such thing. Someone's getting saved today. Even though, show up for setup and teardown again.
Correct. And so we realized like, we say your expectation affects your experience, but nobody really knows even what that means, and nobody even hears us say that. And so you can recognize, something needs to shift. We need to emphasize this more in a season. And it's super good. Anything else you think of?
Yeah, last thing. I think that within an organization like ours, that values need to be also in conversation departmentally. This is not something that we've done or we've even told our team to do, and I don't think we're going to yet, because we're still not all the way stabilized organizationally getting in this building.
Okay, keep saying what you're saying.
Okay,
so that
we are not yet feeling stabilized. We went from shoveling water out of the boat to not sink, to now we're just kind of learning who's rowing where and who's serving where and all the things. But at some point, once we get a little bit more stable, I think that we need to send our teams to create, like the people over assimilation, getting new people on board. What are your values?
Yeah.
For our kids ministry?
Yeah.
What are our kids ministry values? Yeah. Like one of our kids ministry values that we joke about, but I'm not joking at all, is we will have a culture of shock and awe.
Yeah.
That if you're a kid coming into More Church, we want you to be shocked and awed at what you're experiencing.
Right.
So this is not just lame Sunday school. Let's put some shock and awe in the system. Yeah. Let's do something crazy.
Yeah.
When kids get in the car with their parents and they say, what happened in kids' church? We don't want any kid to say, I don't know.
Right.
My goal is that they all have something to say when mom or dad says, what happened in kids' church?
Really good.
Shock and awe.
Right.
So but we haven't yet taken the time.
Well, some of them do have that because it's modeled so much.
It's modeled.
That they know it, but it's not an intentional thing that we've intentionally done. But I think that is such a good, from our organization to a regular to your home. Bring your kids in the conversation. What are your personal values? Bring the different departments of your organization into it. It's so necessary.
Because as a church, we have values. As a staff, we have values. But like our greeter team. The greeter team needs to have some kind of specific value that's like, your big welcome welcomes the Holy Spirit into someone's heart. That's a horrible value. But this is how they start.
That's how they start.
They start bad and not making a whole lot of sense. Yeah. But then you stretch the thing out and say, okay, as our welcome team, as our greeters, what is their goal? And maybe they just have 2.
Right.
So it's not like every team needs 10 values. Come on, that's exhausting. Yeah. But they need some specific, our worship department,
right?
Having them, sending them away to do a retreat to come up with what are our 5 worship values.
Yeah.
Right? It's not about the stage. It's not about us being known. It's not about the fanciness.
We're
We're inviting God's presence in, not a performance.
Yeah.
Presence over performance. I'm saying like
Right.
beat
Whatever
some of
it
that
is.
up.
Yeah.
And now what it does is it allows Pastor Phil and Pastor McKinley to tell the worship team,
Yeah.
hey, we're not about performance. We're about God's presence.
No, it's really good.
Boom, value.
Yeah, it's super good.
This is one of my favorite episodes we've done.
Well, you made me think of a couple of things. So, yes, because I was thinking about Aaron yesterday was telling me he had to have a conflict meeting with some of the people in the operations department, and he literally was like, in the meeting, told them, do you know what our city's values or values? Yeah, what our city's values are? We are these people, whatever. And then he said, but our department ones are also this. So the thing that is really important is that the ones in the secondary department have to align with the main values. And so he was telling me it was something about mutual respect. And then this one was about like look each other in the eye or something like that, but they go together.
Yeah.
And so they're buildable on top of each other. So the important piece in that is when you're creating them at another department level is like submitted to the main values, to the values of the house. The second thing that I thought of as you're talking is don't bring too many people on the journey of creating the values. Mm-hmm. In the very beginning, you and I sat together and only allowed the two of us. Now, nowadays, where we're at, what we're doing, we could bring, Enrique and Tim or something into our conversation. They're our directional leadership team. Like maybe they could come in. But we would not sit and create all the values with our whole staff team because that would take forever.
Yeah.
Get in probably arguments, but also might not be as clear as we want them to be. And you and I were able to sit and really beat it up, hash it out, talk out the problem without leaving with funky feelings, but also with it being really clear.
Well, this is a whole other conversation that we should have someday about as leaders. Like for Whitney and I, we have to have a view of 360 degrees of the organization.
Yeah.
But if we do that conversation, let's just talk about with some of the guys in the youth team.
Right.
Their main focus and their biggest love should be the teenagers.
Right.
People over finances, their biggest concern should be the money.
Right.
And so it should be. And good job that that's what you're viewing as most important. That's what you're paid and called to do.
Right.
But we have to have a holistic view of the organization to understand that. And then there's because like our finance team, they should have some values.
Sure.
We will steward every dollar.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But like, I'm not sure that that's a value that we would put on the top. Now I'm about to get myself in trouble because our whole staff should steward every dollar that comes in. But there's a different focus. That we're paying attention to.
Right. No, it's really good. We've gone a while, so I guess we can
we
stop
got to
talking.
go. But here's what I want to say. I got a chiropractor's appointment, so I got to get up out of here. Because my arm, I did something. I did too many pull-ups or something. I don't know what I did. I'm trying to get to my 15 in a row. I did 100 in one workout, and so I think I jinxed something. Not bad. It's sore. Okay, here's what you should do. I want you to share this episode with somebody. This is a good one. If you have a leader in your life, if you have another pastor friend in your life, share this with them so they can understand how to create values. What we're going to do is we're going to do a series. It'll probably be at least 10 episodes long of us talking through some values. They might not all be back to back to back, but we're going to start working those.
Yeah.
Last thing is if you're a pastor, whether a lead pastor or pastor on a team, and your church needs to redo their values or reestablish some culture, reach out to us.
Absolutely.
Something we're really passionate about is helping other ministries.
Absolutely.
And so we'd love to start that conversation about how we can help you tug into more.
That's true.
That was a good promo.
That was good. I liked it. Good job.
How do they reach out?
You can send us a message on Instagram. You can.
Who? Me or you?
No, our Tug of More.
Okay.
Our Tug of More Instagram. Julia is now looking into and following. And
here's the best way. If you're a pastor and you want to connect to us,
I was going to say you should just message us.
Just message Whitney because I'm the worst. Okay. I don't check any of my stuff. I don't check my Facebook.
Church or on Instagram or Facebook. Send me a message. Yeah.
We would love to help you step in all things God has. Love you guys.
Love y'all.
See ya.